Welcome back to the Vale Echo. Today we step into the misty heart of Scotland, where beauty and dread often share the same horizon. It began as an ordinary travel vlog, a YouTuber chasing breathtaking landscapes, winding roads, and the promise of untouched nature. His name was Callum Hayes, a rising content creator known for venturing where others wouldn't. But what started as a scenic expedition soon turned into a mystery that Scotland still whispers about. The footage recovered from his camera begins on a calm morning, an aerial sweep of the Highlands shrouded in fog, green hills rolling endlessly beneath a silver sky. Callum's voice laughs through the mist, filled with excitement. He's filming from a lone road, his car cutting through the emptiness. Middle of nowhere, he says, smiling into the lens, unaware those words would be among his last. His next clips show him near a vast lake, his reflection shimmering in still water. The world seems peaceful, untouched. But then his camera pans toward an old stone cottage sitting alone against the landscape, silent, almost waiting. In the final frame of that day, Callum says he'll explore it tomorrow. The next morning, clouds hang low and the light turns colder. He approaches the cottage, the wind howling softly through the grass. The door creaks open and the world inside is still, dust swirling through thin beams of light. His camera captures fragments, an empty chair, a fireplace long dead, photographs yellowed by time. His voice grows quieter. "Someone used to live here," he mutters. Then a sound, faint footsteps, but the playback reveals no one behind him. His breath quickens as he shines his flashlight across the room. For a second, a shape flickers in the corner, too blurred to define but human enough to chill the spine. The video cuts abruptly. The next segment shows him outside at dusk. The fog is thicker now, his voice unsteady. "I keep hearing something," he whispers. The trees around him seem alive with echoes. He turns the camera toward the forest, zooming into shadows that twist and shift, then silence except for the soft rustle of wind. This was the last footage uploaded before he vanished. Locals say the cottage he explored stands on land once known for strange disappearances dating back centuries. They call it the Hollow Glen, a place where voices drift through fog, voices that don't belong to the living. Days later, hikers found his car abandoned on that same winding road. The camera was discovered beside a riverbank, half buried in mud. Everything after that remains unanswered. As night falls over the Highlands, the mist rolls back once more, and with it the faint echo of his last words. "If you're watching this, I think something's out here." The recovered footage picks up where the mist swallowed Callum's trail, its shaky fragments stitched together from what investigators believe were his last hours. The first clip opens in total darkness. Then a sudden flash of light, his flashlight beam cuts through fog like a blade. He's whispering into the camera, his breath uneven. "Something following me, I saw someone by the trees." His voice trembles, yet curiosity keeps him filming. The view shifts to a forest path cloaked in mist. Every step crunches on damp leaves. The camera pans over twisted branches that look like reaching hands. He pauses at a faint glimmer ahead, the remains of an old campsite, a torn tent, a half-buried tripod, and a mug still resting beside cold ashes. His camera zooms in. "Someone been here," he says, "but not for a while." His tone changes, fear beginning to creep into fascination. The next frame flickers with static. When it clears, he's by a riverbank panting. The sound of rushing water fills the air, blending with the wind. He kneels, brushing away mud, revealing his own backpack soaked and torn. His confusion is audible. "How did this get here?" he mutters. The scene feels unreal, as if time has folded over itself. Then silence followed by a low, distant hum. Cut to the drone footage, a wide shot of the Highlands, clouds curling over the mountains. But something is wrong. There's a distortion, a pulse of static rippling across the image. For a brief moment, a dark figure appears among the trees, unmoving. The footage freezes. When it resumes, the figure is gone. Later clips show search parties combing the area, police dogs, helicopters circling above, villagers watching from afar. Their faces carry that unspoken Scottish superstition, the belief that the land keeps what it takes. One older man caught in a local news broadcast says quietly, "The hills remember the voices. Once they call, ye dinna come back." Then comes the discovery that turned the mystery darker. Callum's camera, cracked and caked with mud, found half buried near the forest's edge. Detectives play the footage in a dimly lit room. The final recordings loop on the screen, shaky shots of trees, then a sudden blur as if something lunges at the lens. His terrified face fills the frame, flashlight catching a glint of movement behind him. His final breath, a whisper, "It's not human." Static consumes the rest. Investigators claimed they could hear faint whispers buried within the audio, indistinct, like voices speaking through wind. Some said it was interference, others weren't so sure. The official report closed the case as unresolved. But locals say on certain fog-heavy nights, hikers still hear a voice echoing through the glen, the faint sound of a camera beeping, and a man calling for help that never came. Callum Hayes gone without a trace. His lens the only witness left behind. Weeks passed since Callum's disappearance, but the Highlands refused to rest. The villagers still spoke in hushed tones of lights flickering through the fog and the hum of drones flying when no one was there to pilot them. A local reporter revisited the scene for a late-night broadcast, her voice trembling against the backdrop of police tape fluttering in the wind. Authorities continue to search, she says, but no trace of Callum Hayes has been found. Behind her, the forest looms still and ancient as if guarding its secret. Inside a nearby inn, locals gather by the fire. One old man stares into the flames and murmurs, "It's the glen, it takes what it's owed." His words hang in the air. Legends begin to surface, whispers of a curse tied to the ruins deep within the Highlands where centuries ago a clan vanished without warning, the very same ground Callum walked upon. Detectives, desperate for answers, return to the forest. Their flashlights slice through the thick mist, beams trembling with each gust of wind. The air grows colder the deeper they move. They find markings carved into trees, circles and runes, half erased by moss. One officer picks up an object buried beneath roots, an old camera battery covered in dirt. The timestamp on it reads the same night Callum vanished. As they press forward, they reach the ruins the villagers spoke of, ancient stone archways, moss-covered and broken, standing like teeth in the earth. Moonlight filters through the cracks, painting eerie patterns on the ground. One detective switches on his thermal camera. For a brief moment, a human-shaped heat signature flickers among the ruins, but when they look up, nothing is there. Later that week, new footage surfaces anonymously online. It appears to be from Callum's camera, restored from corrupted files. The clip begins with the familiar cottage, then cuts to his terrified face lit only by his flashlight. Behind him, faint whispering, multiple voices overlapping, chanting something unintelligible. The camera jerks violently, the image spinning. The last frame before static shows the ruins illuminated by moonlight, and a dark figure standing still among the stones. Experts analyze the video, claiming it's a hoax, but others notice something chilling. In the background, Callum's own voice can be heard saying, "I found it, the place they warned me about." Months later, the forest reclaims everything. Moss grows over the broken camera, the path fades beneath thick layers of ferns. The wind carries faint echoes through the glen, a man's laughter, then silence. Travelers passing through say their phones lose signal near the ruins, and some claim to hear a recording start to play, a voice saying, "Welcome back to the Vale Echo." The mist rolls in again, thick and endless, swallowing the Highlands whole. And somewhere out there, under the watch of ancient stones, the lens keeps recording, even though no one's left behind it.